I'm Lillian McMorris, and welcome to the Lillian McMorris Show. We thank you so much for joining us, and we thank you for supporting us, not only right here on COX 96, but also on the Internet. We have wonderful guests on this show today. I've got a couple of entertainers, and of course, we're going to share some information with you. Our first guest came to our fair city in 1996, and he changed his life, and we got to witness the evolution, which brings us to his new release. But before we talk about the new release, let me introduce you to Frederick Westbrook. Welcome, Frederick.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
It's good to be here, man. Very good.
I'm just happy. I'm always happy to see you. I mean, we have done so many things on stage together and in the community, and you have such a history. So let's briefly talk about that. Now, you were born in Harlem.
I was born in Harlem in 55. My father was very abusive, so Mom's packed up and took me with him. And she became a jazz singer.
Wonderful.
And that was her main support for herself and for me. And she sang with the likes of Duke Ellington, Lionel Hampton.
So you have that entertainment background.
Yeah, it was always in me. She was my mother was a very remarkable woman, but it was hard because back in the 50s, she was a very beautiful woman. My mother was outrageously fine. Mm-hmm. And during those times in the 50s, in Harlem and back east, there was a lot of slickness. We want to book you in Atlantic City. She'd go all the way to Atlantic City, have to pay a babysitter for me.
Right.
And then get there, they don't want to pay her.
Oh, gosh.
Unless...
Right.
Quid
pro... Right. Was it quid pro quo?
Right, yeah, and it was kind of tough for her. So she finally had to give me away by, I think I was 3. Mm-hmm. She finally just handed me to her best friend and her husband. And,
do you think that had anything to do with the road to your demise?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a lot. I have a lot of issues.
You have quite a testimony.
Yeah, I have a lot of issues about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was with my foster parents, which they adopted me until I was 10. And my real father, which I wrote in song, the story, if anybody ever heard the song, You Can Still Rise. It's my life story. Right. My father kidnapped me. Mm-hmm. And the abuse that he put on his mother, on my mother, he now was putting on me.
Right. Which has a lot to do with your ability not only to write, and a lot of people can relate to what you write and what you sing, but also let's talk just a little bit about what I call the road to your demise, because obviously you overcame it.
Yeah. The abuse was a big factor. My real father was a merchant seaman. So the only thing I really knew about being a man was you come home. When I saw my father, he come off the ship. He was gone 9 months. He just got paid $60,000, $70,000. He drove a big car, wore Italian suits and Stacey Adams, and kept women. Right. That's all I knew about being a man. I didn't know about going out to work every day.
Right.
Because I didn't see
what he did. You didn't have that sense of responsibility because you never saw it.
But I had a grandmother that brought me up in the church that taught me the yes, ma'am, thank you, please, go to school, do these things. And when she left, she moved out and moved to Arkansas when I was 15. Okay. So
at what time did you start using drugs?
About the time she left.
Okay.
Because I wasn't allowed, if she got a whiff that I was using.
You would have been in big trouble.
Yeah. I started smoking weed at 15.
Okay. And then you progressed from weed to
cocaine. By the time I was 27, because cocaine really came out in 1978, 79. That's when I started using it on a frequent basis. Okay. And
that's what I call the road to your demise.
The road to my demise.
So what changed was you came to Vegas in 96. Right. And what came into your life that you became a brand new person?
Tragedy, really. I came here running from California because I had run out. I had nowhere to go. Nobody would take me in. Everybody turned their back on me. So my ex-wife had told me, go to Vegas, and you don't know nobody there.
Start over.
Start over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I came out here with a habit. I was selling drugs and using drugs at the same time, which is like a monkey selling bananas.
Right.
But it was just one day, a package came up short. And this youngster, which was like really huge kid, he was like really, really huge. Mm-hmm. I came up short on his money.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't much. It was like $100,
but that still could be your life.
That was his money. Mm-hmm. And I got set up, and he knew it, but it was still that he just kind of jacked me up a little bit. Didn't really beat me up, but, he just kind of roughed me up a little bit and said, this apartment is now mine. Because I was running a crack house.
Okay.
He said, this apartment is now mine until I get my money. Mm-hmm. And he left. He said he'd be back. And I walked away from there with nothing but the clothes on my back and the funk that I hadn't taken a shower in about 2 months. Mm. I left there and went to Salvation Army. I left Salvation Army and then went to West Care Detox.
There you go.
From West
and
Care.
Both of those are fabulous places in our town.
Yeah. And from West Care, I went to a place called Jesus is the Answer, Pastor Raymond McIntosh.
Yes.
And
Bishop McIntosh.
Yep, he's my spiritual father. Mm-hmm. He's the one that took me off the streets. And
he's a good guy. He's impressed a lot of lives. Well, at what point did you start to write about your experiences so that young people know that the lifestyle that you lived is not the lifestyle?
It was funny because I didn't really mean to do that, and cause I've always written, because I come from my father's family is children are seen and not heard.
Correct.
Okay, and the kidnapping and the abuse, I wasn't allowed to say much. Mm-hmm. I was not allowed to say my feelings about anything. Mm-hmm. So I learned to start writing.
Right.
I got to get this out of me some kind of way.
Right.
So
and even you made light of it because a lot of your comedic material it is that.
Right.
So, we know you as a church house comic and, of course, the Prince of Spoken Word. And that's why we're here today. I like to give a little background because everybody has a story. Mm-hmm. And your new album is really quite the story. And Spiritual Evolution it's called. We've got a release party coming up. Track 2 on that. What's it called? Spiritual Evolution. It's the title cut. It's the title cut. We're going to listen to a few seconds of that and give our listeners a little bit of that. And then we'll come back and let's talk about the release party and invite people to come out and see Frederick Westbrook.
Evolution. The Webster Dictionary describes the word evolution as the gradual development of something simple to something more complex.
Now, as we see, we've listened to that, and it's part of your story. That is your story, the changing portion of the change. And now we're going to have the release party on May the 2nd.
May 17th.
17th, right. May 17th at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Where's it at?
At the Walnut Rec Center.
And who's invited?
The public.
The public.
The public.
Because you want people to know.
I want people
and out
to
of the 7 albums, all of them, although the one in 2010 was actually your actual testimony,
right.
But all of them are a testimony of your life.
Yeah, all of them is like my album that I actually put everything together was Chronicles of a Testimony. Mm-hmm. And I was really fortunate that Phil Flowers wanted to do the track with me, which was called Jesus, You Got Me Juice, which became #1 on Power 88 for 11 weeks. We were the most requested record.
This new album, Spiritual Evolution, you don't want to miss it. The release party is going to be May the 17th at 6 o'clock at Walnut Recreation Center. And you can give Frederick a call for more information because we'd love for the public to come out and support Frederick Westbrook. The 11th annual Float Like a Duck water safety event on Saturday, May the 24th at Heinrich YMCA. Come out and bring the whole family. This is a fun family event. Take steps for Crohn's and colitis. This is a fun, family-friendly community walk. Saturday, May 31st. It's going to be at Exploration Park at Mountain's Edge. Don't miss the Parenting Expo on May the 31st at the Cashman Center. It's educational, it's informational, and it's a whole lot of fun. Bring the whole family. It's time for the 6th annual White Linen Affair, sponsored by 100 Black Men of Las Vegas. It's going to be on Saturday, June the 28th at the Suncoast Hotel. Get your tickets right away. We sell out. And welcome back. It's always wonderful to have a good friend. And probably most of the people that I talk to are good friends, but this one is real special. I would say, we always say, and on several occasions in the show you've heard me say, I interviewed this person 20 years ago. Well, I met this person 21 years ago, Mr. Bob Fisher.
Yeah, but in those days I used to take a shower with you every single morning, watching your show.
That's right, clarify that one.
Oh yeah, I was watching the show, all right.
Because we did travel together, so yeah, clarify that one.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. You on the train and me on the plane. Then we meet it. But that is true. That's a true story.
I just came back from Washington, D.C. on the train.
That's right. Bob Fisher, he's the president, executive director, all those good high points for Nevada Broadcasters Association.
That's true.
Of which I was a proud member. I am
proud member. You were one of
member.
The best board members we ever had.
Thank you. Thank you.
Certainly
what I
one
liked,
yeah.
what I really liked is being the public affairs person for the state of Nevada. That was a good thing.
Well,
who
better than you? Seriously.
In lobbying for our little people, our I shouldn't say little people, but our areas in northern Nevada that are small stations who
they're
really
little
needed
people because, their homes are smaller, they're shorter. And, because they're out on the farm.
You're so bad. What's the mission of Nevada Broadcasters, Bob?
How would I know? I've only been doing it for 21 years.
Hey, share the mission.
We're the eyes and the ears of television and radio.
And recently added the internet.
Oh, we add everything. Mm-hmm. We add everything. Right. As long as they pay their dues.
Right. Of which we were to make sure all dues are paid. Okay. And let's talk about a few things that we do. When you say eyes and ears, we're educating Nevadans about Nevada Broadcasters.
We educate Nevadans about, for example, this year, and this may be the first on your show.
Okay.
We're discussing, because of the way that the gubernatorial filings are, there is nobody who's in a first tier based upon the policies of the debate, the gubernatorial debate that we do every 4 years. And so what we're probably not going to do is a gubernatorial debate because there isn't a first tier candidate against our governor. So because of that, what we're thinking of doing, which is exactly what you were talking about, perhaps the most misunderstood and the most controversial issue in this year's election process is the margin tax. Right. So we may do a statewide program in place of a debate.
Okay.
And do it as a public forum.
Right.
Not tell you what is right or what is wrong.
No, just give the education.
Give the education, and then we're doing our job.
And then you're doing your job. But that also goes along with everything else that you do, because your partnerships throughout the state of Nevada, not only do you spread the word, but you're giving them highlights of what's going on in various organizations.
For sure. Well, that's, I learned that from you. My television show in northern Nevada, we just celebrated our 500th show.
God bless.
And my radio show, which is on 35 stations, every county.
And I remember when you started that. You and I talked about it.
Yeah, we did on the show.
On the show, that's right.
Well, we're coming up on 1,000 shows pretty quick.
See how time flies. And we'll only get better.
No, some of us get more beautiful. Some of us get a little better. And some of us say,
what happened?
What happened? Where'd it go? How'd it go so fast?
And we've got the annual event that's coming up as well.
We have a new date. It is going to be on the 9th. First time, too. Boy, you're getting exclusives.
I'm getting this, exclusives.
It is the 9th of August, and we're switching. We are doing it at the Four Seasons on the Strip.
Boy, that is a change.
And I will tell you that among the honorees, you, of course, love Paul Gardner.
Absolutely.
The radio guy in Elko, Nevada, who actually picked out what we use as the trophy for the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He said, my dad would take something like that and would put it up. He'd be
Right.
proud of that.
And I said you could kill somebody with it. I remember that conversation. Absolutely.
Your memory's too
You
good.
can.
Your memory's too good. Well,
It's this pyramid about this tall, and it goes up like this to a point. So
but it's the real deal. It's the real deal.
It's the real deal.
You know.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy.
One person who won dropped it, and I got a call on Monday afterwards, and they said, "Boy, you give cheap awards." I said, "You don't understand exactly
No,
what
that's not
marble
cheap
is.
at all.
That's not cheap
at all.
But we are honoring. We're giving the Pinnacle Award to D. Ray Gardner. To Paul's dad. He is probably the last living pioneer who brought radio to rural Nevada.
So
we're
and
so
stuck
excited.
with it. That's what I was saying earlier, is a lot of our smaller stations, specifically in the rural areas, were unable to continue because we had to change.
Now, you've been to a lot of August events. You know how hot they are. So we're going to sort of sneak the calendar, even though it should be like around October 31st. But we're going to do as a theme a winter's night.
Oh, gosh.
In Carson City. We're going to have snow falling on the walls. We're going to take these beautiful flowers and spray them.
And you expect me to wear
white
fur?
White.
Because it's winter time?
Because it's winter time. And we're going to honor the state on its 150th birthday. We're going to actually tell the story of broadcasting over the last 150 years. And I believe that first time also, we are going to honor, and the Community Achievement Award is going to go to the Center of Arts, Dance, Music, Broadway. Myron Martin is going to be honored.
From the Smith Center.
From the Smith Center. And wait till people find out how many tens of thousands of Clark County students have gone to the Smith Center through the programming.
Through the program that
so
he
we're going to
has.
honor education. We're having such a good time.
And that's the good thing. And how do we find out more about Nevada Broadcasters Association? Because your website is absolutely fabulous. Our website is absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, you had a lot to do with it. You had a lot to do with it.
It's grown a lot since then.
It has. And but the core values are still there. And who better, to communicate what is going on and to help people understand than a broadcaster like you.
Thank you.
And we have a history.
We do have a history.
We do.
We definitely
We do.
We're going to give you the website so you can go look at the fabulous website and all the history that goes on with Nevada Broadcasters Association and what we do as the eyes and ears, and not only that, but giving back to the community, because we also do public service announcements, which we call NCSAs.
Right. And you know what else we have? And I'll do it real fast. I'll do it real fast. We are in our 5th year. The Nevada Broadcasters Foundation gives broadcast scholarships to students in broadcasting going to a Nevada school.
And you can find out all of that information at
that
Nevada Broadcasters Association.
Includes full tuition if they're really good at their interview. Full tuition for 4 years.
For 4 years. That's excellent. NevadaBroadcasters.org. Or you can give them a call at 702-794-4994. Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much for coming to visit us.
You look so pretty.
You're sweet. Thank you. And on that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. The Lillian McMorris Show is produced by Tego and Associates Productions, full service productions, corporate videos, websites, commercials, multi-camera shoots, either in our studio or on location. That's Tego and Associates Productions. Give us a call at 702-509-7728. The Lillian McMorris Show is brought to you in part by Louisiana Gumbo and More, located on West Charleston. The best gumbo, fried catfish, salads, and don't forget the po' boys. That's Louisiana Gumbo and more on West Charleston. 10 Golden Keys to Effective Networking. This book is designed to strengthen your networking techniques. It is an ebook for instant download. Go to LillianMcMorris.com. And welcome back. Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you, 3,300 plus shows on the Las Vegas Strip. Second factoid, longest running book musical in Las Vegas. So your mind is probably wondering at this point, what is she talking about? How about Menopause the Musical at the Luxor Hotel? We're going to talk a little bit about Menopause the Musical because people want to know. You get telephone calls and say, what's it really about? So I brought the assistant stage manager, and she's also a performer, and this is Monica Heuser. Welcome, Monica.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Tell us a little bit about, and I know it all started, I read a little history. It was inspired by a major hot flash and a bottle of wine.
Yes.
By the writer.
Yes.
And it's kind of grown from there, from what, 2001?
Oh, goodness, yes. It's been going on for over a decade, worldwide. National tours. I was with the show in Singapore.
Oh my
even
gosh.
far-reaching. It's a 90-minute musical review of sorts, all about menopause, the celebration of women, the empowerment of women, and also laughter in that we're all in this together.
True.
90 minutes, singing, dancing, acting, and all of the music you will recognize because it's all songs from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Right, all those
re-lyricized.
Yes, yes.
And even 80s, actually.
Right.
Little Tina Turner in there.
Yeah, that's because, we all get in all those moods along the way.
Yes.
What sort of audiences? Now, that you said something that just kind of steered me. Singapore. Mm-hmm. What sort of audience did you get in Singapore?
Actually, it was very interesting because the things that they found funny weren't necessarily the jokes that fit, in the USA.
Okay.
So that was really interesting to discover.
Okay.
But very much English speaking, so we didn't need to translate or anything like that.
That was one of my questions.
But the jokes hit a little differently over there.
Yes, I can imagine. What other foreign countries outside the United States has it been?
Oh my goodness. We've had an Australian tour, I believe, Great Britain, Europe, just seriously all
And I know
over.
all over the United States in various musical houses.
And ongoing. There's always national tours going on. There's always sit-downs.
Now, the way you say that, you said ongoing, so therefore there are separate performer groups that do Menopause the Musical, not necessarily this group that we have at the Luxor?
Correct. G4 Productions, the producers of Menopause the Musical, kind of have a, I'm losing my train of thought here. They have a group of actors that
performers,
performers that they use over and over and over again.
And that kind of tells your story because you've been with them for 7 years. So tell us some of the things that you've done within the musical.
Okay. I first became acquainted with Menopause the Musical in Minneapolis. They hired me at the time to be a triple understudy. There's 4 roles in the show. Okay. I was allowed by our union to cover 3 of those roles because at the time I was doing another musical, Love Janis. I was Janis Joplin. Okay. So I was doing Janis Joplin and Menopause the Musical at the same time.
Good combination.
Very interesting. Right. Yeah. So Janis was over. I got on board with Menopause the Musical full time. One of the roles, the only role I didn't cover, the actor had to leave. So I got permission from the union to learn that role, and I became G4 Productions' first quad understudy. Okay. So I do all 4 roles, kind of on an emergency basis, a national basis, whenever they need me.
They
Sometimes
call
they
you
just
and
fly
you're
me
there.
in. Right, and that's how I got acquainted with Las Vegas. In January and May of last year, we have 6 ladies who do the roles here in Vegas, and as you can imagine, illness, injury.
And you're 7 nights a week.
Exactly. So they brought me in January to be Soap Star, and in May they brought me in to be Earth Mother and Power Woman, also known as Professional Woman.
Gosh.
And then the other role is Iowa Housewife. So I came out here and performed, and then by June they said, why don't you come out here? We have assistant stage manager open. Why don't you come
out here for
full
good.
time? Yeah.
But you can still jump into places when needed.
That's right.
And speaking of which, how many major roles are there? It's like 5 different ladies? How many?
Four different.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep, the Iowa housewife,
Okay.
the professional power woman, soap star, and Earth Mother. And our audiences often say that they can relate to one, or more of the characters.
And you know what?
That's
Even
me.
in reading your statistics, you have a lot of men that come to the show as well.
Oh, they love it. Yes, it's my father's favorite show, and he's seen
Well, of course, that's
24
'cause
years
you're-
of.
That's because of you.
maybe, but he's seen 24 years of musical theater that I've done, and he always says Menopause the Musical is absolutely my favorite. I think it's because he can understand my mother
A lot better. And that's what I read some testimonials that a lot of men really like it, and it does help them kind of relate to what's going on in their household.
Definitely.
So if you want to laugh and you want to maybe relate to someone that you're acquainted with, then go see Menopause the Musical. To find out more information about the show times and ticket availability, it's simple. Go to their website, menopausethemusical.com. That's menopausethemusical.com. It is at the Luxor, and it is every night. You don't take a break. I mean, everybody does a different part, so you get your days off, obviously.
Right.
But every night there is a show, and we appreciate you coming and sharing.
Thank you.
And sharing all of your performing availability and everything that you know in the theater. We appreciate that.
Thanks
you,
so much,
Monica.
Lillian.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the Lillian McMorris Show. We always have entertainment for you, and we try to give you a little fun thing that you can learn and find out what's going on right here in our fair city. I'm Lillian McMorris. You can always watch us right here on COX 96 or go to the website at LillianMcMorrisShow.com and also on YouTube. So we're happy that you joined us, happy that you are here to help us, watch us, spread the word. We'll talk to you next time.